Good afternoon, sir. We are Group 7. I'm Lee Samyi, and my group mates are Lee Zhenhao, Lai Kelly, and Hao Qingtian. Today, we are going to present the impact of AI on future workforce and how organizations implemented AI. This is our presentation flow. First, we'll talk about the impact of AI towards general workforce. Then we'll move on to specific workforce, and finally, we'll talk about the current AI practices on organizations. Before I move on, I will roughly explain about what is AI. AI, also known as artificial intelligence, is the ability of digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligence beings in short, it is intelligence demonstrated by machines. However, unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals, AI does not involve consciousness and emotionality. Now I will talk about the impact of AI towards the general workforce. One of the challenges of before using AI is repetitive and low satisfaction tasks such as data entering, restocking shelf, packing, and reporting. Repetitive tasks can not only pose a risk to the physical health of a person but also to their mental health and general well-being. For instance, repetition can lead to many physical ailments such as repetitive strain injury and carpal tunnel syndrome. Besides, it can also cause low productivity and satisfaction in employee due to extreme boredom. Therefore, it will lead to the high employee turnover rate and increase in recruitment costs, causing loss in both time and financial aspect for businesses. In addition, it can also increase the chance of inaccuracies. Next, another challenge before using AI is manual data entry and traditional research tools. Nowadays, the amount of data is exploding at an unprecedented rate as a result of the development of web strategies, social media, and mobile and sensing devices. For example, Twitter processes over 70 million tweets per day, thereby generating 8 terabytes daily. Manual entering of massive data can increase chance of inaccuracy data, hence resulting false research conclusion. Moreover, as traditional algorithms were not designed for massive data sets, traditional approaches are struggling and become inadequate to keep pace with any global problems. Next, moving on to the benefits of using AI, the first benefit is increased employee productivity and job satisfaction. As AI can handle the repetitive tasks across an organization, for employees, thus higher profitability for business. Employees will also be able be satisfied with the tasks they completed and therefore less workplace stress and increase in higher productivity and job satisfaction. In addition, AI can also eliminate human error in customer operation as they can think logically with no emotions, hence making rational decisions with less to no mistakes. One of the examples is chatbots. Chatbots allow employees to gather customer information and filling customer complaints in a shorter time and hence improving customer experience. On a side note, AI also allows employees to develop variety of skills as the burden of repetitive tasks will be removed. Next slide. Furthermore, AI can also turn complex data into digestible insights. AI can help organizations to decipher their data and gain valuable insights from it without a data scientist on staff. There are a lot of things that AI can do, such as identify changes in patterns and isolate trends, create detailed reports that can help companies to see if they are on the right track, and develop and perform deep content analysis and do evidence-based reasonings. As AI is able to draw through massive amount of data in record time, this will allow researchers to pinpoint their area of focus for their own research. One of the significant examples of AI in big data analysis is Barrow Neurological Institute partner with the the artificial intelligence company IBM Watson Health to discover, and they discovered new genes linked to the ALS, also known as myotrophic lateral sclerosis disease. Without IBM Watson for drug discovery, researchers predict that the discovery would have taken years instead of just only a few months. Now I'll pass on to Lee Junhao.
So thank you, Sami, for passing me. So right now I will be talking about the impact to specific workforce. I will be applying the points mentioned just now by Sami on a manufacturing industry. So for your convenience, to view the contrast and the challenges and solution easily, I have created a table to show how AI impact or solve manufacturing problems. So I have divided into three areas: area, challenges, and AI solutions. Area will be the topic area. Challenges will be challenges before the AI, and the AI solution towards the challenges. So starting from labor. Before AI, manufacturing industry faces a huge problem as their business model required low-skill workers that conduct repetitive action to assembly or process the product. So this naturally leads to a high volume of labor, which inevitably leads to high costs, labor costs. And currently, the AI solution, robotics arms, which is an AI combining with the machinery, can replace 50% with one arm. So, and the process is fully automated. Although the initial cost of implementing those AI will be very high because the machinery is very expensive, lesser people will need to monitor the process, as well as the labor costs will be replaced by just paying the electricity, because right now you just need the people to monitor the AI algorithms and the electricity to run the whole facilities. Moving on, we have workplace safety in this case. As mentioned before by Sami, that repetitive work is a very common issue done by manual workers. Overworking with the same motion will definitely cause some injuries, such as carpal tunnels. In addition to that, factories need to do tight capacity, which means that people are crammed into one places to maximize the working efficiency, and they are exposed to harmful particles, which led to the higher cost of injuries or higher in potential of injuries. For the solution to it is that the AI was fully able to remove or counter the challenges, as they won't care about the tight capacity. You can put as many robots as you can because they won't clashes together, and they can conduct remote and precise operation remotely. Because not to say that AI, not only AI is very precision, if AI having some accidents or being destroyed during the way, is much better to repair, much more quicker to repair the AI than having a person who get injured in the factory. Moving on is the productivity. As we know, human doesn't work 100% power level constantly. In the business model of manufacturing in the factory, if you've seen any videos relating to it, you can see they actually need the attention to check on defects item, to give the attention to aware nearby, to prevent any injuries, as well as putting the best efficiency. However, by using AI, as long as there's efficient cooling as well as electricity, it is always on 100% power level, which able to reduce the defect rate as well as maintaining maximum profit efficiency. And lastly, with flexibility. So this flexibility is targeted towards the personalized products. Currently, personalized products is everywhere. Taking the most recent example for Apple will be that you can now able to engrave your phone with lasers by just typing your any text of it. So in traditional way, it is very, in order to make a one personalized product, it will take a lot of time because you need to spend extra care and detail just for the one personalized products. But nowadays, companies are able to integrate Internet of Things to build customized products on the spot. So taking Nike as example, the moment you order an Nike and do a customization request in there, it is not the human labor who do the customization. The data will automatically send to the machine, and the machine will do it on the spot. So after all those challenges and solutions, so what is the impact for the manufacturing workforce? Starting from industry players. So in short, they can get a lower operational cost, the HR costs, and the HR costs in long term, because they no longer need to hire 500 people for an operation. They just need to implement 3 AI scientists and around 20 robotic arms. Second, it is lesser manpower needed to monitor the whole process, manufacturing process. Same thing, because of everything is doing automated, you only need the 3 person who monitor the whole facilities. And lastly, it will be a best production efficiency because there is no limitations of the robotic arms capacity, as well as it is always working in 100% efficiency. However, it's not all rainbow and sunshine. For employees and fresh graduates, they will be facing frictional unemployment because AI is currently occurred. Revolution 4.0 is already occurred. Every manufacturing workforce is already implementing this. So for those who don't have any AI skills or any coding skills, they will have no jobs. Moving on, even for those who are highly educated, let's say mechanical engineer, the implementation of AI has increased the minimum requirement to involve in manufacturing jobs. In past, what the mechanical engineer do is mainly more towards maintenance because they import all the robotics from overseas, right? But nowadays, they will now need to learn about AI language to monitor or create specific metrics to measure about. And lastly, there's one good benefit from the employee is that they can now work more safely because everything is do it remotely. And lastly, eliminate exploitation of workers. This is you can view it as double edge. So for industry players or normal first world developing country, because AI is so efficient in long term, people are using AI to replace human labor, which is good because there is no more exploitation of overworking. However, especially for the developing country, they actually need the extra jobs in there. So it depends. This point is depends where you view how AI is it. And now, here it sums up the part of the impact on general and specific workforce. Now I will pass it to Lai Kelly to talk about current AI practices on organizations.
Okay, thank you, Zhen Hao. So now I'm talk about the Airbus defense and space. The issue faced by Airbus was unable to detect the crowns in satellite imagery. The problem existed for around 20 years and required manual processes to properly take image. In fact, it is sometimes very difficult to determine even for the human eyes whether a particular area on a satellite image is crown or snow. Okay, next. Airbus used an algorithm to identify these objects, but it has an error rate of 11%. So Airbus decided to test the deep learning platform Tensorflow. So Tensorflow is an open source software from Google, can be used and changed by anyone. Google provides the toolbox for others to work. The TensorFlow analyzes a large number of images, looks for recurring patterns, and uses this to learn how to identify objects by itself. So using the machine learning, they were able to decrease the error rate of detected the crowns from 11% down to 3%. So the company also leveraged the machine learning engine GPU accelerator to speed up the process by 40 times. Okay, next. So now I'm going to talk about the global fishing watch. Fishing is one of the most significant drivers of decline in ocean wildlife population. So catching fish is not inherently bad for the ocean, except for when vessels catch fish faster than stock can replenish, something called overfishing. It's illegal catch to enter the global market, which an estimated 23.5 billion worth of fish annually worldwide is illegal. The needless loss of billions of fish, along with the hundreds of thousands of sea turtles and cetaceans. Okay, next. Okay, so the Global Fishing Watch is using the Google Cloud machine learning engine as a platform which founded by Google, SkyTruth, and Oceana that monitors fishing activities around the globe. So announced the addition of 2 new data layers to increase the transparency and awareness around the overfishing. It launched in 2016, showed a world map of fishing vessels moving in near real time, which means it is 22 hours from the present time, and can extrapolate the location where ships are fishing and type of fishing they were involved in, and even the size of their engines. Their previous approach had analysts monitoring the small regions to determine what fishes were being overfished, and the company relied on the satellite AIS positioning to watch the entire ocean, tracking the fishing vessel and using the machine learning to determine if they were acting illegal. So now I'm gonna pass to Qing Tian for his presentation.
All right, thank you, Kelly. I'm Chao Chin Tian. And the organization challenge before the AI, I will be choosing the International Business Machine as well as the IBM. The first point here is IBM, before the AI come in, IBM unable to measure and threatening the pain in difficult and complex and healthcare issue. And the second point is now the doctor that can monitor all the patients for 24 hours, but AI can monitor multiple patients. So the solution, the next slide. The solution of the IBM is the IBM Watson Health. The first point is enable to paint the objective and passively measure. For example, the clinician being able to more accurate prescribe when and how much pain medication is needed could help to reduce the chance of introducing basis over the prescribing. Also, help patient to relieve chronic pain in more precise, personalized, targeted way. To do so, the IBM Watson using the biometrical collect in 2 clinical studies that investigate a patient population undergoing the spinal cord and also the stimulation therapy. The next one is this allow us to continue our work uninterrupted with one important advantage. So nowadays we could see now how a major global crisis, which is the COVID-19 pandemic, this could impact of number of factors known to influence the patient chronic pain experience, such as the pain intensity, the sleep quality, exercise, medication, and mood, and so on. So the next organization that I choose is the General Electric as well as the GE. So the first point here is GE machines, operator and technician monitor its aircraft engines, locomotives, gas turbine, diagnostic equipment by listening their clanks and whirs and checking their costs manually. So the next challenges is the General Electric will be hiring employees will be very costly since they need a lot of manpower to record every data and also will cost them in a safety issue. So the solution is to observe and understand the contextual meaning to improve the performance and life of our assessed industry system and also the human health. The next one is the GE machine that can be used to save money and improve the safety for its customer. Because of that, many of these dual scientists help to make cloud-hosted software models of GE machine that can be used to save money and also improve safety for its customers. So the third point will be the GE artificial intelligence development is primarily focused on connecting minds and also the industry machines. GE research also develop and integrating AI in healthcare. Why do I say so? GE will involve in healthcare industry because all of the diagnostic equipment require robotics and also machines to help the doctor during the operations to their patients. GEAI also help to give signals and also give data to assist the doctor in order to lower down the risk of the operation as we all know that every operation have risk. That's all from my part. I will let Zhen Hao to make the conclusion and recommendation.
Thank you, Chin Tian. So, as we know, after all those cases we presented, we know that AI is already integrated into our daily life. It's already a new normal, especially during the MCO. We are now so used to online classes. In future, I believe the same goes to the AI. So I have prepared two recommendations, one for industry players and one for employees. So for industry players, the organizations, the HR should develop internal training for low-skill workers to properly manage AI. Because AI itself, the operation or the usage of AI is actually very easy to operate on the front end because all of it is designed to be user-friendly. It is the algorithms, the back-end development will be difficult. So instead of just firing low skill worker who doesn't know any knowledge related to AI, they should give them some training sessions. In addition to that, the industry players should also allow low skill workers to change the department. For example, sales department or administration department or even marketing department where they able to must have some human elements inside to let them to shine in the other areas as well. For the employees, at fresh graduates, since we know that AI is sooner or later going to evolve in your conversation, evolve in your working experience, or even evolve in your life, it's best that you know how to code as well as learn some data analysis in your daily life, so that in future you'll be increased higher chance to be hired because you know that you can manage the operations far more easily compared to other people. And lastly, when you go to job searching, you can usually find the minimum requirement. We stated some tools, some AI tools that company will use. For instance, for marketing, you usually search something for get familiar with HubSpot, get familiar with Google Analytics. So the last piece of advice I will give is to be familiar with industry tools on automation and analytics. On automation, as mentioned just now, HubSpot allows the marketing automation occurs. They will help you to automate when the email, when to send it, their advertisement, when the best time to send it, both of it, as well as Google Analytics to help you to get to know more of your people, your customer demographic, behavioral changes, or even psychological changes. So I will end this presentation with a quote that I found very relevant. So robots, or in terms of AI, are not going to replace humans. They are just going to make our jobs to be much more humane, leaving the difficult, demanding demeaning and demanding, dangerous, dull jobs will be leaving to the AI. So here marks the end of our presentation, and here is the reference for journals and other resources. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So question answer time.
Yep. Hi.
Hello? I heard someone here.
Chao Feng, Chao Feng, you have a question? Chao Feng? Okay, any other question?
Any other questions?
I have question for Kelly.
Okay. Kelly?
Kelly?
Hi. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
No, she hasn't asked the question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How is the global fishing watch works?
Okay, so working from a database of 300,000 ships across the 12 categories. So Global Fishing Watch train machine learning algorithms to identify when a fishing vessel is docked alongside a refrigerator vessel and to determine the likelihood that transshipment is taking place. It automatically plots those spots on the map and highlighting hotspots when warrant further investigation. Okay, so I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, Kelly, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, with regards to this illegal fishing, I think if you do further research, you can find out on this thing called IW, which is illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. So in Malaysia, we have this problem. Every year, we are losing about between 1 million to 6 million ringgit of worth of fishing. How I know this? Because I did the research for the government about 3 years ago, not 2 3 years ago, 2019. I did, and we found that this is a problem. So we hired BMOS to help us to do this detecting the illegal fishes, illegal vessel. But the problem with these illegal vessels, they are much more sophisticated than any other fishing vessel because they catch the fish, they process the fish, and they can them, and then they just distribute the can to like they are like a taxi, the taxi will come, get the can, process can, and then they will leave. Taxi will come, get a process can, and leave. And it's very difficult for us to catch them because we don't know how much things has gone out. So yeah, this is still on a trial basis by Google, implementing AI to capture this thing. I hope this thing can materialize even further because not only Malaysia losing a lot of fishing resources, countries like Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, they're also losing a lot on this. And 1 to 6 million 1 to 6 million ringgit Malaysia worth of resources is losing a year. That means government is also losing a lot of money, and the fishermen are also losing a lot of money. I think it's a good highlight that you made here. Actually, it's not a question; it's just a statement, actually, from me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Any other
For the team?
questions? We are more willing to answer.
Hi, sorry about this. My mic, something happened.
Thank you for
So,
asking.
the question for Hao Chin Tian. What does really IBM do in the company?
Okay, thank you,
Feng, for the question. I can see that IBM are really a mature company that created the AI to help other company that needed AI in their company. So basically, IBM are creating variety of AI to help others company on. I hope that my answer can answer your question.
I see. Thank you. Thank you.
IBM actually IBM is it's an IT company, but they don't call themselves as an IT company. They call them as a technology company. They create a lot of a system for various organizations. If let's say Chow Feng Senden Berhad, example, wants to implement a chat box, right? Chat box to extract information. So you can go to IBM. You tell IBM, so this is my requirement. Every end of the month, the first day of the month, my analyst will pull this data, and the data will take about one whole day to be pulled out. But if you can schedule me, you can create a system that can pull the data, right? And when I come to the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, see the data has been prepared in Excel sheet. And then from there, you can do analysis. The most important thing here is to do the data cleansing, which is very difficult. It takes a lot of time. So IBM can do it for you. If let's say a Zheng House company wants to create something different, so they can customize. So that is how IBM gets very familiar with all this AI tool. Is because not because of them, it's because of the people from various organizations that approach them to and give them the requirement. So that's where they become good at that. So they are more on what I call that. We call this as mercenary work. They do and then they come out. They do, they deliver and then they go. So that's how they do.
Yeah, true, sir. Yes. Understood.
All right. Any other question?
No more
Today,
questions.
today is a very good day because I see a lot of people asking a lot of questions because you're also learning. This is the way forward. In the next future, don't think that I'm a business grad, I'm a marketing grad. So what is this to do with me? No, it's not that. Actually, this is to do with you because why you are the Gen Z that is going to go into the. It's not only for Gen Z, for all the generation going into the workforce in future. So you need to know. You don't need to know about the technical part, but if you can know about the requirement part, doing data requirement is a skill by itself. When I was doing data requirement for Hong Leong and for EPF, so we spent about my team of 40 people spent about 6 months. They gave us 1 year to do the work, but then we cut down to 6 months. Why? Because we told them if we can save another 6 months for us to do the implementation, then we have a longer time for us to do the rollout. So we did that. So it's a really pain in the ass work, but somebody have to do it. So you do it, you gain experience, and most of them that gain experience from that side, because none of us are from IT background. Most of them are like economics, like me, management science, but we do take time to learn about all this stuff. So what happened is after they have implemented the process, some stays, some left for a better position. So this elevates yourself, uh, you know, um, make you a better person. It gets you more responsibility, better position, better salary. So yeah, so don't always remember you must have a very open mindset whenever you want to do things. If you have a closed mindset, then it's very difficult for you to move forward. All right. Is there any other questions for group 7? If no, then we can end the session. No question. All right. So I see you all tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, group 7.
Okay, thank
Thank
you, sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Good presentation. Thank you.